So when you go to measure a deer, what we calculate and as part of the score is the inside spread. Okay, that's from the furthest point. You see how it goes in? So you take the measurement from here to here. So that's calculated on the total score. Okay. What we'll do also, then we go to the main beam length. And you can see right on the side here, we're halfway the thickness of the antler right here. Well, if the deer was mounted, the deer's eye would be here. So that's where you connect the cable. You follow the cable up to the center of its main beam like this, and you stay right in the middle. There's like a vein on the main beam. You just continue and follow that all the way over, and you have to follow the contour. So if this went like this and this, you got to take the cable and do the same thing and follow it. This way you can be accurate. So you do that on both sides. Then I'll take the cable, I'll show you. So to get the tine length, you need to find a baseline. Okay, so your baseline would be like this. So we put tape on here so we don't mark up the person's antlers, right? So we have to put tape on there. So what you do is you see where the apex is on each side of the tine. So you take this like this, you put the cable like that, so where it flattens out just before the apex comes up, and then you put a mark here, and that's on the piece of tape, and then you find the center vein and put a mark. So you got a vertical mark and a horizontal mark, okay, and that's where you start your baseline from the bottom to the top for your tine length. The other measurement we do will be take 4 circumference measurements. So you start at the burr. So this is the burr. So you take the smallest measurement in between the G1 and the burr. So what you do is you go around this, take this measurement, then the second measurement between the G1 and G2, there, G3 and G4, then the fourth measurement would be here. So you take all of those scores, you add them up, and that's how you get your total score. If you had an antler that was only a 3-point, okay, you need to take 4 circumference measurements. So if you were here and you only had 3 ways to do it, so you go 1, 2, 3, and you didn't have the other points, then what you do is just double up the last one. So this would be this, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep. That's something I never knew.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, and it's funny because if you get a spike, if you have a spike, you do the burr, but then when you start, the main beam comes here and there's no main beam. Say if it was just like this, then you take the circumference and then you just multiply it 3 times.
Yeah.
And that's how you get your total score. So that's about it.
What did this end up
This
being?
is a typical deer. So your typical deer, 132. This is a really nice deer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 10. This is a typical 10-point. So if you were going to score a non-typical deer, a lot of times you'll have antlers that don't go off the top of the beam. So if you have a point that goes this way, that's like a non-typical. And you see how this one comes off the top? So if this was any further off the center line, this could be construed as a non-typical also. It's everything that follows the top, okay? Anything that pops on the side, and it's got to be at least 1 inch.
Yep. What about shared bases?
Shared bases, that would be, I'd have to look at the deer, and if it's a shared base, say if it had another main beam coming off, you want to look at the similarity of where these 2 points start.
Yeah. So I mean like a shared base, like I have a 10-pointer at home, where this point comes up and then splits.
Then splits right there.
Yeah, so it shares the base. How do you get that measurement?
Well, what you do is, see how these 2 are in this spot?
Yeah.
Now, if you share the base with one that kind of went like this,
yeah,
off this side, this would be matching this one, okay? So what you do, this would be the G2, but the one that coming off here, you share the base, what you do is you still have to take the cable and do this.
Does that make it a non-typical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything that's a non-typical point is usually a non-typical deer. It could be the scoreable deer as, if you want to score it as a typical, then that's what I would do if you would have like a minimal amount of non-typical points, because you probably do better in our record book. But if you want to score it yourself and say, well, I want the gross score, even if it's 2 more inches, so I get a bigger number, then you can just go with the non-typical, because that's going to be deducted on a typical score if you have just that one non-typical
Yeah.
overall. So if you get a bunch of stuff, then you have to say yeah. So this is a typical deer.
And then this, I mean, if you did a net score, you would have lost some here.
Exactly. So the net score itself. So if this scored a total of 55, this side scored a total of 49, then the net score would be the difference.
So okay, so it's not point for point; it's side for side.
Yeah, total. It's the total number. So you have all the total deductions from the left side and the right side. And you look at that down, and then when you figure your gross score, you go over to the deductions, and you look at the total deductions of everything. It would be the width, it would be the circumference measurements, the heights of it, and everything's calculated. So we deduct it from one side to the other. You tally that up, that gets deducted off the total score to give you your net score.
Nets are for fish.
All right.
But,
Thank you very much.
oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
What was your
Thank
name?
you. David Lowe.
David.
No,
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hope that was good.